everyone, so welcome back to my channel. If you were with me in episode 2, I was going to originally tell this story that I'm about to tell you guys in episode 2 before I got into the birthmarks. So here we go. This is episode 3, and I am going to tell you guys the story of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929 that happened in Chicago around the Lincoln Park area. Now this was back in the Al Capone days. So it was February the 14th, Valentine's Day. Everyone in town, they were waking up, they were getting ready for the day to enjoy their loved ones. The children were getting ready for school, getting their Valentines for their friends together. You know how you do the Valentine's Day exchange. So yeah, the kids were getting ready to do the Valentine's Day exchange, getting their cards and their lollipops all together. Their moms and parents were getting ready for work. Mom was cooking breakfast. Dad was getting ready to go out here, the hustle and bustle of work. And this was early in the morning, so it was around 9:30. So while everybody's going about their day filled with love, somewhere in Lincoln Park at a warehouse, there were 7 guys. And these guys were a part of the gang that was, they were rivals. His name was George Bugs Moran. I believe he was the rival gangster to Al Capone. So this was back in the day where there was prohibition. So if you know what prohibition is, that is when, that's back when it was illegal to sell alcohol and booze to get people drunk. So these gangs, they were selling booze and things like that and alcohol under the table. It was, they were just doing some real illegal things back then. And Bugs, as they call him, he was the rival to Al Capone. So you all know who Al Capone is. He was like the biggest gangster in the United States. So yeah, wouldn't want to be his rival. But so he was the rival. They were the rival gang, and it is said that Al Capone, you know, he went to Florida, but he had his gang, he had his people murder these guys. So it was 7 guys. It was 5 in the gang and 2 affiliates. And these 7 men, they were all dressed up for the day, for Valentine's Day. So I'm sure they didn't know, you know, that this was their death day. I'm sure they knew they had to be in some kind of danger if they were participating in, you know, this gang activity. But of course they didn't know that they were going to die this day. They all were dressed up. One even had a carnation in his suit. So Al Capone's boys, they murdered these 7 guys at the warehouse in Lincoln Park. They died by shooting them with semi-automatic guns and pistols. So these guys, they were lined up on this wall, this brick wall, and they were murdered there that day on Valentine's Day. They say it's the most gruesome murder that has happened. You know, this was a massacre that happened back then. This was like real big back in those days. And Al Capone, they're saying he set this up, even though he denies it, of course. But he ends up going to prison for tax evasion, because back then Al Capone had, you know, the police and politicians, and he had a lot of people on his payroll. So it was hard to bring him down, you know, once this massacre happened, and it was just all over the, you know, basically all over the world, United States, like, they had to do something about this. They couldn't, you know, let this go. So they got him for tax evasion, and he went to prison, and he served about 11 years before he passed away. So now, getting back to the haunting of this massacre, So now today in the Lincoln Park area, that warehouse is gone, but there is a retirement home there, and there's a park there with 5 trees, and one of the trees is actually in the spot where the wall was at, where they lined these guys up at and murdered them. And residents at this retirement home, they tell stories of they have seen gangsters in their fedora walking the halls. You can hear gunshots and semi-automatics sometimes in these homes, in the retirement homes. You can hear it, and you can also see prints of bodies in the snow when it snows. When it snows there, you can see the prints of 7 bodies. So they are saying that this is still, this is one of the haunted places in Chicago. And they're also saying that one of the guys who was murdered, he haunted Al Capone up until the day he died. So Al Capone actually was haunted by one of the guys who was murdered that day. So if you're interested in ever visiting Lincoln Park, you might see some spooky stuff there, especially if you go in the wintertime and it's snowing. You may get to see those body prints in the snow. If you have any stories, if you ever been to Lincoln Park, have you ever been to this site, let me know down in the comments. Let us know if you have any stories about this area. I would surely be interested in knowing, but that is one of the stories that I have heard about Chicago, one of the hauntings in Chicago. And it was pretty interesting because I didn't know about this particular story until I researched it this past week. They were also some tourist sites. They were selling bricks from that area, from that wall where those guys were killed. They were selling bricks to people as keepsakes. And the people who actually bought those bricks were reporting that they were having bad luck. And it was just real bad energy coming from those bricks. Now, I don't know why anybody would want to buy a brick from a murder site, but yeah, they were buying those bricks and they were reporting bad energy and bad luck. So they were returning these bricks back after they purchased them. And so that was something I wanted to throw in there. So that's just crazy. But when you do go to this site in Lincoln Park, at this warehouse where this murder took place, it's just a really, really bad feeling you get. It's a feeling of regret. It's just a real bad feeling that people are getting there, and bad vibes and energy. So if you ever go visit, just be on the lookout for that. And if you can go during when it's snowing outside, you may get to see prints, body prints in the snow. If you ever do, or if you have any stories, if you ever been here, let me know. Let me know. I would be interested in knowing about it. But this story, I just researched it today. So I just wanted to share it because it was interesting to me because I didn't know about it. And it was keeping up with the theme of my Valentine's Day week. So I will see you guys in the next episode.